Hello and Happy New Year to anyone watching this as I come out on Friday the 2nd of Jan. Hope you all had a nice New Year. I did. The family round. Some nice food, which is always good. But this is the coldest one yet. I've even got my hood up on my fleece, got my cap on, a baseball cap on. Well, actually, it's a golfer's cap, this. Oh God, I can't see. There's the sun right in my eyes. Yeah. Freezing. But no snow. We were supposed to get snow overnight, and we didn't. So we've been cheated again. The weather bastards have cheated us again. So, yeah. But it is bloody cold anyway. That's for certain. So, kick off a new year on the first Walkie Talkie of the new year. Oh, it's like, what to talk about? Because I thought I'd kick off, want to do my video talking about games. I thought I'd kick off that in a new week. This being a Friday. I thought I'll wait till Monday for that one. Well, it's not really a huge amount. I suppose I could do something of what I'm looking forward to this year. Obviously, Grand Theft Auto 6 I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping that will live up to expectations and be another great entry in the series. I've heard rumours that they're already starting development on Red Dead Redemption 3, which is interesting, considering they've not even got GTA 6 out the door yet. Do you know though, I've not even finished Red Dead Redemption 2. I need to get on with that. But yeah, and I'm just hoping that other games that come out this year are equally good, live up to expectation. Invariably some won't, but you always hope that they do. I'm not somebody that goes looking for things to be disappointing. I always want there to be some, I want everything to be good that comes out, because that works for the games industry, works for entertainment purposes. So whether it's hardware or software, I don't wish failure on anything. Same with movies, TV shows. If I'm watching a TV show, I want it to do well. I want it to be good. I want to be entertained. Don't want to have to be dealing with something that's disappointing, like people's inability to use bins. That's a never-ending source of disappointment, isn't it? But yeah, we'll just do another general chat for today, and then Monday we'll have something a bit more structured to go off. So we'll do that, and take it from there. So hit stop here, and a quick pan around, and I'll see you all in the park. Okay, and it ain't much warmer in the sun down in the park. In fact, it's colder because this is quite open. I was hoping the sun might do something, but nope. My thumbs are freezing. Anyway, enough of that jibber jabber. So just general stuff, general chat. I noticed on Facebook, I think the sales of the Commodore 64 Ultimate are pushing close to about 20,000. Is it about 18 they've sold? Somebody put a chart up anyway, and now there's been a big drop off, which is inevitable. People probably wanted it in for Christmas. Whether they got it for Christmas or not, well, there's a few people saying they ordered theirs in July and they've still not had notification of shipment. And that is probably in the US, where this is coming from. So let's hope that they clear that backlog. But I mean, this is a small scale thing. I wouldn't be fooled into thinking that what you have is Commodore as it was. This is more like a tribute band, as opposed to the real thing. You know, they've not got manufacturing and distribution places that they had of old. If you buy this thing for the UK, you've got to import it. So I suppose that you'll be subject to importation taxes over here. Certainly VAT. Which means that that's going to inflate the price of the machine even more. Now, even if I really wanted one, the fact that you can't just go and buy it off Amazon in the UK, or go and buy it from a high street retailer like Argos, or it's Smith's Toys, they were selling the C64 Mini, and they're selling the Spectrum, the Amiga 500 Mini, all of that kind of stuff they've been selling there. The fact that you can't go to one of those places and buy this yet, whether you'll ever be able to, is, well, that remains to be seen. Probably not. That's very off-putting, because for me, if you buy this thing and you import it in and you get it and there's stuff missing, or it don't work, or it's damaged, I've seen a few instances of it being physically broken upon arrival. that the case is cracked quite severely. They say that the reasoning behind this could be over torque, where one of the posts is where they put the screw in, that it's been over torqued. We mean over tightened in plain speak, and that's caused tension on the case, which has resulted in it cracking. Right, so we have another quality control issue with this. That's not very good. You know, you're trying to make a good first impression out the gate, and it's not doing well in that sense. You know, I'm married to other issues that people have been having. I don't think it's sensible to import this thing. I mean, if you have to send it back, then you've got to then send that back off to the US, I guess. And then you're going to be subject to whichever delays that's going to incur. I don't know whether you would be able to suggest that it was, you know, whether you were going to have issues with regards to the shipping, sort of the return shipping, going back. I don't know. Probably, I would say. Yeah, probably you're going to have those issues. Details are quite sketchy. But yeah. And then you're going to be waiting then for the thing to come back. You know, and if they're struggling to meet the demand for orders that's already out there. So obviously the implication there is that there's a shortage of these products. Yeah. Yeah, if there's like a shortage of these products, then how long are you going to be waiting to get a fully functional unit if you have a faulty one and have to send it off to the US? Now, when I got my Xbox 360, it malfunctioned on Christmas Day. Well, it started to malfunction on Christmas Day and pretty much fell on its arse on Boxing Day. Now, when I contacted Xbox's customer support, I was actually based in the US, but their whole sort of distribution and so on and so forth was based in the UK at the time, so that wasn't so much of an issue. You know, they sent a box out to me with all the labels on it. I packed up the 360, sent it off, and about a couple of weeks later I got the replacement. Happy days. Well, until the replacement one started acting up. But the point was, you know, you're talking of a major international corporation manufacturing thousands and thousands of these things a week. So, you know, the one I sent off would have been replaced by another one that they would have had back that they repaired. They keep it as a cycle going like that. They will have some reserve stock for those type of eventualities. But you say, you're talking about a huge corporation manufacturing a current in-demand system. They're manufacturing around the clock. You know, they're selling more in a few hours what the C64 Ultimate has sold so far. You know, because of it's just demand. So you are going to have that problem, I think, in how long you're going to be waiting for a replacement machine. And I think there's the temptation for a lot of people, if this is just a cosmetic issue, that they're not going to do it, which is wrong, really. You know, when you pay for this thing, you should be getting it back. And it's full. Jesus Christ. It's an issue because you shouldn't be having to wait, and you get this and you're paying all that money for it. You shouldn't have any issues with it at all. None whatsoever. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed by that. It's one thing to have an issue where, there's a failure. I've said it myself, my first C64 packed in on Christmas Day. But that was a quick swap. We took it back to the store where we got it from, and they just swapped it for a new one. On the 27th of December. First thing in the morning, I get the new one and it works 100% fine, and it was working perfectly fine until I got my C64C. The issue with the C64C was just me not having the knowledge and there not being an online resource to teach me on how to adjust the RF screw, the RF modulator at the back of the C64 to get it to tune into that specific television. It wasn't a fault with the computer, the computer was fine, and again, it worked flawlessly until the day I got rid of it. Actually, that sounds quite abrupt. I got rid of it. No, I passed that on to another family member when I was done with it, when I moved on and wasn't using it anymore. So, what am I doing here? It wasn't an issue. Didn't have any issue with it. But, if I'd have taken it out of the box and the case had been cracked, it'd have gone back and I would have ended up getting another one that wasn't broken. And what annoys me, people that keep making up excuses. This is what you expect. This is to be expected. They've only just started. No, you're paying premium price for this thing. This isn't some cheapo knockoff fake thing. This is being marketed as the return of the Commodore 64, as it was back in the 80s, with a number of bells and whistles stuck on it. When people make up excuses for it, it's not acceptable. Not acceptable, is it, doggy? Nope. Even the dog agrees. Stop making up excuses for it. If they're not doing a good job, in terms of their quality, they want hauling over the coals for it. They're charging $350 for this thing. Stop defending rubbish. If they're cutting corners and they're putting stuff out there that's not being properly tested or not being properly vetted in quality assurance, they need calling out for it. They're not doing you any favours. You're paying for this. I really hate this whole defending this type of crap. I really do. It's not on. Don't be defending it. Tell them it's not acceptable. I wouldn't have it. No way. If mine came with any kind of physical defect, any kind of issue, when I'm paying for something, paying premium price, which is what it is, you're paying the same amount as what they were charging for this thing back in 1985-86 when it was current tech. I don't want to hear about this crap about, well, it'd be $2,000 in today. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. It's a product of its time. That's what it is. Back then, yeah, that was a premium price. They're charging the same amount of premium price right now for it. That argument doesn't work. So, yeah, as I say, don't accept it. They're not doing the job. They're not doing good enough QA on this stuff. And they deserve to be pulled out over it. There's absolutely no way I would be accepting this. But on the other side of it as well, one of the things I've noticed is there seems to be a lot of people complaining about faults of various descriptions. Some are more major than others. I'd be interested to know what actual percentage failure rate is right now. I really would. I'd be very tempted to know what it is, because there seems to be a lot of people with issues, and it's not the same person, and it's not the same issue. So I wonder if we'll ever get the actual statistics on what the failure rate is. Probably not. Probably not. I'm going to go back around this way. Not spending all day editing. People need to get out of the way. So, yeah, I'm fascinated to know what the failure rate is, percentage-wise. It'd be a nice cut-off point, you know, for units sold up to and including the 31st of December. Obviously, you're going to be including units that are sold but not yet delivered, because that doesn't count. That's what you need to be doing. And yeah, I'm fascinated, because you don't ever get to hear about the people that have got the product and it's working okay. You know, you don't really get to see that. You only get to see stuff from people that they're complaining about it missing stuff out of the box, arriving DOA or damaged, or failures happening during the usage of this thing. So yeah, like I say, I'd be fascinated to know what actually is the failure rate. What are we dealing with here? What are we talking about here? Is it a lot, or is it in the normal percentile? But with regards to me getting one, you know, like I say, if it was readily available in the UK, you know, if I could buy it off Amazon or, you know, go to a high street retailer, I'd be quite, you know, there might be a temptation there once they've ironed out these issues, of course. But I'm not messing around importing one. And I am a C64 fan. It's my favourite gaming system of all time. But I don't believe in buying issues, buying trouble. I am reticent to buy electrical goods off Amazon as it is. I much prefer to go to a store where you have the immediacy of a return if there's an issue. You're not posting it off and then waiting days for a resolution. You know, be it a replacement device or be it, well, it should be a replacement device if it's DOA. Having to, like I say, wait, if you do have an issue, you're waiting potentially weeks, maybe even months for this to be fixed. No, it's too much. It's much too long a delay. And that's where it is for me. There's no way I'm paying $350 and then whatever additional taxes for the UK, and then the shipping, and then, you know, hoping to God that it arrives okay and doesn't have any issues. There's no way I'm doing that. No way at all. I don't think that's a sensible option. Not when there are viable alternatives. Retro games, you know, if you're really desperate to play C64 games, you've got an emulator. You know, if you don't want to go down that path, you've got the retro game stuff. The C64 Mini. You've got a special edition VIC-21, which is a C64 Mini, but in a VIC-20 case. You've got those options, and the beauty with them is that they're sold in the UK. You know, they're readily available within the UK. So, well, they were. I don't know if they currently are, but anyway, I mean, you can get them. Amazon were selling them. I think they still do. I think if you go on the Retro Games website, they will actually point you in the direction of retailers in the UK that sell it. So you can order it from them. And I've got to say, I've got one. And it's great. It's brilliant. I mean, if you're desperate for a keyboard, you can plug a USB keyboard in there to use keys. So it's not like you're totally devoid of a keyboard. I've never really needed it. The only game is like Ghostbusters, where you have to hit the B quick, but with a bit of practice you can call up the on-screen keyboard. I was able to complete Ghostbusters on the C64 Mini, and was, you know, with a bit of practice, able to avert the marshmallow attack. I mean, if you're going to stack up that very minor issue, which doesn't even be an issue once you've practiced it a little bit, if you stack that up against paying probably the best part of £4, possibly even nearer, yeah, about over 400 quid, I would say, for this device, the Ultimate, and then running the gauntlet of potential issues with it, it's a bit of a no-brainer, and it's a lot cheaper to begin with anyway. And let's say, I'm not saying that the C64 Ultimate shouldn't exist, it's just not in a place for me. It's not in a place for me right now. You know, that my hope is that they will fix these issues and they will improve the manufacturing process. and at some point maybe they will get a distributor within the UK to distribute this machine, this system, and then be able to sell it within the UK, which would lower the costs of it. You wouldn't need to be importing it, paying expensive shipping costs and then importation tax. So it would be a bit more of an attractive proposition. Again, I hope for success, but I can only report on what I'm seeing online, which is people having issues of various descriptions and so on and so forth. I just think, we'll go back around this way. I'll just try to look at the flow of people, like the traffic and which direction it's going. It's less editing if I go with the flow. If I get a nice clear spot like this, where you just get the odd person coming the other way. But if most people are sort of going in the direction I'm going now, it means I spend less time editing, which is real pain when you want to do other things, which I do. What I really should do, what I really need is a second monitor. I just use my big Panasonic, my big Samsung TV, my big 4K TV. I run everything through that. Now what I really need is, I've seen one of these smallish, the LED or LCD monitors. I've seen them, which should be perfect. I don't want a big PC monitor. I don't need it, to be honest. So that's pretty much what I'm going for, what I'm thinking about getting. You know, something that I could hopefully run without needing another power supply, because I'm really short of power outlets now, especially now I've got this CD player. I'm going to have to swap that with my Blu-ray player, swap them both out when I go to use them. I just don't have enough power outlets behind the TV now, but that's okay, that's all right. So yeah, that's kind of, having seen, you know, I've been reading up quite a bit over the Christmas period on this thing, because I am interested. I'm a C64 fan. You know, I miss it. I miss my old bread bin, or the old, what did they call the wedge shape? Was it just a wedge shape, the one that the C64C? They called the original the bread bin. That was his nickname for it. Did they have a nickname for the C64C? I mean, was it the wedgie? I don't know. It looks like a wedge. Or did they call it like a doorstop? Possibly that. They always come out with derogatory names, didn't they, for stuff. Like the PS3, they called it the George Foreman grill, which was kind of funny because it did look like a George Foreman grill. The Xbox One looked like a 1980s Ferguson Video Star VCR. When they unveiled that thing, I was like, what the bloody hell? That is one chunky ass piece of hardware. It kind of grew on me though, over time of using it. The only problem was it wasn't stackable. You couldn't have it stacked vertically. But it did actually grow on me, the design of it. I like the design of the Series X as well, just that rectangular, perfectly sort of symmetrical box. I like the cooling solution, which is like a chimney design. So all of the hardware is built around the outside, and there's a space in the middle, and that draws heat via a big fan at the top of it up and out of the system. I like that design. PS5 is okay. It's bloody huge though. My god, that is one big ass games console. I think even the Slim is quite a chunky boy. But I kind of like a lot of stuff like that. You know, that fusion of practicality and industrial design. I can appreciate that. As long as it works though, that's the important thing. If they ever put, you know, sort of style over functionality, then that's always going to be a big issue. I can't bloody see. There's sun in my eyes. But yeah, that's always really important, is its functionality. Touchscreen, thank you. I had to check on my time, how we're doing. But yeah, I'm aware that like people might think I'm ragging on the C64 Ultimate. No, I'm just pointing out reality, you know, of what I'm seeing, you know, on Facebook, what I'm seeing on X, you know, what people look at with feedback, what people are reporting. I'm not even making stuff up. It is what it is. Like I say, I want it to be a really successful console or PC, but it's not either. Computer, there we go. I want it to be successful, you know, and if it was ever a viable option, it would be nice to own one. But the problem is, and it's always like the problem with these type of devices, always boils down to just how much are you actually going to use it once the novelty wears off. That's the thing with nostalgia. Once you've scratched that itch, it's a while before you start to feel it again. You know, practicality starts to come in, and once that occurs, these things have a habit of becoming dust magnets. That crow's robbing a load of leaves, must be building a nest. But yeah, like I say, I'm not hating on it. It's just what it is. I think when you care about a product, you care about, you know, what this new Commodore is doing. You know, I'm a bit anxious with what plans they've got for the Amiga, to be honest, because retro games are coming out with a full-size Amiga 1200, and again, it's one of them. What's going to be the upshot with this thing? What's going to be the main selling point for this when you've already got the Amiga 500 Mini, which will play Amiga, various incarnations of the Amiga. It will play their games. And is Commodore going to make a play to try to get hold of the Amiga? What's interesting about that is who actually owns the Amiga, because Commodore didn't own Amiga Technologies initially. They acquired it so they could call it a Commodore Amiga, but they didn't develop it. You know, the Amiga 1000, the technology, all of that stuff, that was entirely down to Amiga Technologies. That wasn't Commodore. Commodore just bought the tech and rebadged it. Obviously they would have done a few things themselves, but you know, the main thrust of the Amiga, that wasn't Commodore. So you do start to ask that question then, a very important question. Who actually has it now? And if Commodore do acquire it, what are they going to do? Are they just going to like sell a full-size Amiga 500 Ultimate? What's the point? What's the point, guys? Why don't you do something with it? Why don't you make a modern day Amiga CD32? Obviously not call it that. But why not just do something like that with a CD32? Because back in the day, that was a great piece of kit. It was just blighted by Commodore that were in their death throes at that point. But it was, you know, it had a lot of potential. CD32 had enormous potential, and it was doing all right, but they couldn't get the units out there. They couldn't sell it, basically because they couldn't pay off the suppliers. And that's what ultimately ended up with Commodore going under. But you know, you could release one of them or something like that, and then I don't know. I'm not putting any thought into it, clearly. I mean, logistically it's probably not practical, but I'm just thinking of something that doesn't involve re-releasing a 40-year-old 16-bit computer at what they'll probably charge about $500 for it. You know, again with a few bells and whistles, when there's already something in the marketplace that scratches that itch. One of the biggest failures, I think, of these mini systems is the inability to officially be able to play games on them that are outside of the carousel that you get with it. I really wanted the PlayStation Mini, but the fact that you couldn't actually get PlayStation games outside of what was on the carousel officially, I'm putting that word in quotes because you could jailbreak these devices, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about officially. You miss a trick, because if you could have had that and then you could have connected that to, say, a PlayStation 5 or say the PC, your PC or your laptop or even your phone, and you could have bought original PlayStation games via the PlayStation Store and downloaded them onto either a USB stick or internal storage if you wanted to improve the security of it. You could have had a fully functional PlayStation Mini and been able to buy games for it. Easy money, really, when you think about it. I would have loved to be able to play on the PlayStation Mini officially. So yeah, you got, if I'd have been, you know, I'd have loved to have done that. Some of the other PlayStation games that had Life Force Tenka, that was great. Great first person shooter. Alien Trilogy, Alien Resurrection, two brilliant first person shooters on the PlayStation. You know, and all the other games besides. If I'd have had that, if you'd have had that ability, I bet you that the PlayStation Mini would have sold more than what it did, and I think it did reasonably well. You can't get one for love nor money now. But you would have had a lot more success definitely would have had a lot more success with it and sold more games. And I don't think it would have been that difficult to implement, to be honest with you, if you're just connecting it to a device. If you didn't, wanted to keep the cost down and not have it connect wirelessly, or not have it connect to the internet to keep the cost down, do it via a smartphone, do it via PC, do it via a current generation PlayStation console. It couldn't have been that hard to do. It couldn't have been that hard to do. So, it's not. I just think it's again, I talk about wasted opportunity and easy money that people that run companies continuously fail on. They continuously fail because they're which is always flies in the face of like convention, doesn't it? They always go on about, oh, we need ways to keep making money. Well, that is a way of keep making money. Not only would you have been still have a demand for the PlayStation Mini, but you would also have been selling the software for it via the store. Dead easy. Easy peasy. Easy peasy, the lemon squeezy. But now, I can't be the only one that has these amazing ideas. Joke. I'm joking. In its new incarnation, should I say. Well, it is current, isn't it? What they could do is provide a platform for you to be able to legitimately get old games. Because a lot of people don't like emulation, they don't like going down that route, but they feel compelled to because you can't get the software. Like I've said before, when they come out with these systems and they come with built-in games, it's the same bloody bunch of games all the time. And it's daft. But there'll be people that'll be resistant because they'll think, well, that means they'll shut down all these emulation places. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. There are people out there that will want to buy this stuff if it's a good price, if it's a sensible price for what you're getting. People will do it. Look at them little them handheld things. I've got one of them, the Taito collection. What the hell's it called now? It's a little handheld thing, and you can get the Evercade. Is it Evercade? You can get the little cartridges. You can actually buy the Evercade console, and that way you can buy the cartridges for it that will plug into it, and then they'll also plug into the handheld thing. I've got the Taito handheld one, and I bought the Thalamus collection for that. I've got the oh my god, what the hell, which one have I got now? I bought another one. It was like, they were like 17 quid for God knows how many games, in about 9 or 10 games. It worked out like a couple of quid a game. What the hell was the other one I got? I think it was the Bitmap Brothers one. Was it the Bitmap Brothers? Oh no, Team 17, that's right. I wanted the Bitmap Brothers one, but it was sold out at the time. But when I was in hospital, I had that with me, along with my Switch, and it was great. Obviously it was a small screen, but I mean, like I say, they do sell a Evercade console that you can plug these things into and play it on a big TV. And they seem to do all right. So people, there is a willingness. People will pay for the stuff. You know, I think and they've not gone out of circulation. And the thing with that, I mean, you get newer games as well that come out on these cartridges. They just did a Tomb Raider collection, which was, rather than the remastered thing that is out now from Aspire, I think they're the original, how they were back in the 90s. Tomb Raider 1 to 3 in a sort of original format as it was back then. So, you know, it's pretty, you know, it seems to do all right. I think it's a good way of doing things. I think it's a good system. I can take my hood off now. It's warmed up a little bit. I can hear properly. So, you know, I mean, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that all emulation places are going to be shut down. I mean, well, I mean, it would if Commodore decided that's what they were going to do, but they would meet a hell of a lot of resistance, and it would be very bad PR for them if they did that. But the point is, it's about giving people the option. And, you know, if you are a big fan of this stuff, you can then support it, can't you? Legitimately support it. And, you know that that is going towards bringing in future titles or future investment in future projects. Engage with the community, but work on these things. The template is already there. The evidence that this stuff works is already there. You just have to have the willingness to do it, and I think you have to have the imagination to do it as well. And I think sometimes they don't listen to what people want. As I've reiterated, my fear with this new Commodore is this is going to be a get-rich-quick scheme, and then it'll be gone. You know, they'll just vanish. They'll put out a thing, you know, oh, we didn't want to do this, we tried, you know, and then they'll blame people. They'll blame lack of customers, not enough interest to keep the project going. We tried, guys. We're going to shut it down, but we'll keep the licenses so we can sell them on to the highest bidder in the future, because that's what it was really all about. That's my fear. Hope I'm wrong, but that's my fear. I've already reiterated that in previous videos. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But what is going to happen is I'm calling it there for the day, because I am bloody cold and I've been going for a bit. So you all have a wonderful day, and hopefully I will see you all on Sunday for the Sunday stroll. So take it easy, guys, and I'll see you all then.